My process is, I go out looking sometimes. I want to find a subject for a painting. A lot of times that doesn't work. If I'm lucky, I grab my camera and start taking pictures. Generally then, those things I process through my computer, which is kind of a design phase for me. Getting the image to fit the format that I want to work with in a way that I think is pleasing. Then I come in here with my photographs and start working on the canvas. And there's a lot of underpainting to begin with. I paint and I splash and I slop around, and if I'm lucky, a lot of that stuff shows through when the painting's done. My problem is, sometimes I don't know when to quit. My studio partner and I, Jim is my current studio partner, he frequently says, "I need to come and take the brush out of your hand, John. You don't know when you're done." And many times he's right. But my problem, I think, is that details are like the devil. I can paint all these little details and pretty soon I've killed the picture with the details. So I gotta back off. What I think I'm after, there is something essential that I feel about the landscape. There's a force or a... I don't think painters ought to talk. I think they ought to paint. And so sometimes I try to put paintings into words. It doesn't sound very good. I hope the paintings look better than they sound. But there's something that, going back to my childhood, my growing up, my traveling, the earth has a message for me. It's not always on the surface. It's about what's underneath it. Yeah, I paint cornfields, but there's an energy that's supposed to be coming up through that earth into the corn that I hope to capture. And so some of that preliminary painting, that underpainting that I do, has all that energy in it. And I got to let that energy come through the final subject. I think a painting is about a subject and a medium and me. And I got to find the right balance between those things. I sometimes go too far with the subject, and it gets to be all about the subject. Every little leaf on the tree. So far I haven't gone too far with me yet. Maybe I'm not brave enough to do that. Maybe if I live long enough I'll paint better. I'm getting better, but I'm not there yet. And then the medium, that's what I'm communicating with. That's what it's about. And it's got to be the device that allows me to develop the language to communicate what I think I feel about the subject that I'm trying to show you. I said that a good friend got me into the Foundry, and I think I also said that I was smart enough right away to recognize it's got great light and great space. A piece that I didn't recognize right away was how important it is being surrounded by 25 other very creative people. The energy level is really high. It's a very nurturing kind of environment, and even though each of us works in a different medium and a different style, they're people I trust. And when I paint myself into a corner and I'm not sure what I'm doing or how I need to get out of it, I can go and say, I need eyes. Come and look at my painting. What have I overlooked? What do I need to change? And I get the best comments in the world. And I won't tell you I take every comment as gospel, but hearing those kind of critiques when your work is still in progress helps me a great deal in figuring out what I want to do next. There have been a number of times when I thought the painting was done, and I found out it wasn't. And maybe if I'd have sat it in the corner and thought about it, I'd have come up with that answer. But it was so nice to have people I trust be able to tell me that. Being at the Foundry is a great place creatively. Also, I think something that's unique about the Foundry is that we are artists in glass-fronted studios. We're not those people who want to hide away in a garret someplace and just paint for their own sake. We want to have some interaction with public. So when people come by, I like that. People are reluctant to interrupt you. They're afraid it's some kind of a trance-like deal that you're doing. And so I hope I'm very welcoming, and I usually try and say things like, you know, this is the only zoo where you can get right in the cage with the animals, and I'm pretty safe, and come on in. And I'd like to talk to people. I like to engage them. They find out that they're a little more interested maybe than they thought they were, and they also find out, I think, in talking to an artist, that art isn't quite as foreign a thing as a lot of people think. I think artists have done themselves a disservice by seeming to be in an ivory tower someplace and being mysterious and talent-driven. I enjoy the interaction at the Foundry. It's a great place for me as an artist, and I think it's a great place for people who come and watch artists. What the future holds for me, I said earlier, I've never been a good planner, but boy have I been lucky. And I think part of that luck has been that my wife has always encouraged me to put myself in the way of chance. And when you do that, many times good things happen. You're able to take advantage of something that's kind of unexpected. Just like the Foundry was unthought of until I stumbled onto it. It's been great for me. And I found during my teaching career, there were things that re-energized me. Things that 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years down the road I hadn't said, well, I think I'll be, but I'd made a change. And I think change is important to me. I think I need to evolve. So I don't know where I'll be. I think the Foundry's got such potential. I want to be here when it is a regional magnet, when people get up on Monday morning and say, gee, I wonder what's happening at the Foundry this week. Let's go check their website and find out. Is it a concert? Is it an art exhibit? I want to hang around the Foundry and see how it blossoms. When I retired, Tim McGraw was singing My Next 30 Years. And so I sort of thought, yeah, my next 30 years. That's going to be another nice career. Well, I'm sort of into that 30. I'm counting on making it till at least 86, good and strong and healthy and with most of my brain. Anything I get after 86 is going to be gravy. So I guess I don't have goals, but I'm going to try and keep putting myself in the way of chance.